with B-Bad and Brandon.
Why not?
100%. We've had a lot of fun doing this and been able to talk to a lot of people that we shouldn't be able to talk to thanks to the internet. So
Yeah,
it's
but
been
like it connects people, doesn't it? Like, so I met Kev and then I met John at powerlifting. Now we're here,
yeah,
so it's just, you know, 6 degrees of separation, isn't it? They say that, you're all 6 degrees away from someone else that you're never going to know or meet, isn't it? That's what they say.
yeah, I've heard of that.
I think with
Yeah.
powerlifting, with 3 separations, everyone seems to know everyone pretty much.
I'm
Fucking
getting to realise that.
yeah, these days it's just crazy how everyone somehow connects with someone. But mate, how long have you been in the powerlifting game?
Oh, me, like a year?
Really?
And already
Yeah, it's just by
competing in the
default
worlds.
that I started doing.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
You
it's like I said, when I moved to this small town, there's not really any gyms, and the only gym to go to is the one down the road. And ironically, it's owned by Luke Richardson,
Oh,
yeah.
so it's Luke's gym. So you're in there in the gym, and everybody's like fucking pulling 300 for reps.
Oh
And
shit.
in 2022, I'd never squat, benched, or deadlifted in my life.
Really?
No, I'd never done it. No.
Yeah, wow. Because previous, like I'm not gonna lie, I had a bit of a stalk on your Instagram page. You were in
Oh,
the army as a commando.
yeah, I was in the Royal Marines. Yeah, the Royal
Yeah.
Marines Commando. Yeah,
Fuck. And was that straight out of school?
yeah. I left Scotland, so I'm from a small town in Scotland. It's like maybe 1,000 people, maybe less now.
Holy shit.
There's only two ways out of that town: work in a steel factory or join the military, and that was it, really.
Yeah, right. So you joined the
So
military and did
I joined up at 17. Yeah.
yeah, right. And was that just basic infantry then, or
No, I joined the Royal Marines Commandos. It's the most elite
right?
non-special forces fighting unit in the world.
Holy shit. What made you jump straight
Jesus.
into that?
I didn't know any different. I asked to join the King's Own Scottish Border as the Scottish regiment. They said I was too skinny, so I joined the sailors. Like, I could join the Marines if you want. I was like, sound, get me out of Scotland.
Yeah, right. And that takes you, as if she said, gets you out of Scotland. Where does that take you straight away?
You go to Limpston Commando, which is in Devon.
Yeah, right. And do all your training there.
Yeah, you do all your training there, but I've never been outside of the village, so I've never been on a train. I've never been to Birmingham. I've never
Wow.
been to anywhere. I've never seen anybody other than Scottish lads in the village. So it was a
Damn.
culture shock.
And
Bloody
you would have
oath it would have been.
traveled the
Was
world
it
a
hard
little
to
bit with that
adjust?
job, I imagine.
Yeah, I travelled all over, all the good places with all the exclusive holidays that you get,
Was it a big adjustment?
No.
Oh, really? You just kind of fell into it, or?
Yeah, I think because I grew up sort of running wild and just being a free-spirited person,
Mm.
joining the Marines, the discipline was fine. I just did what they told me. That's why I like powerlifting, because you just do what I'm told. And ultimately, the Marines was just a version of that. And every day you learn a skill. And yeah, it's difficult. And only sort of 66 started training and only 6 of us finished. The attrition rate is about 99% will fail.
Wow.
Wow.
So I enjoyed training. It was good. I learned a
Yeah.
lot.
And
Damn.
how long did you spend in the commandos?
I joined in 1998 and I left at the end of 2013.
How old are
Damn.
you, bro?
I'm 43 now.
Holy
What-
shit! I would not have guessed that.
43 years young.
Oh, right.
That's
That,
dude.
yeah,
I'm
man.
looking on
That's
your
the thing.
Instagram right now. You do
That's the
not
thing.
look
Like,
43.
works because I compete against masters, don't I?
Fuck.
When I met
This
John at
is
the World,
yeah.
they didn't believe my age, and I had to show them my driving license.
Bro, I'm like literally I'm on your Instagram right now, and you do not look even close to 43.
Mm.
What are they putting in the water over there?
Good
But
stuff.
I have a
So I need
theory
to.
on it, but that's my theory.
And now,
Fuck.
and post Royal Marines, did you? Because obviously now you do coaching as well as some powerlifting yourself. How did you land yourself coaching? What was the progression there?
I didn't start coaching until 2018.
Yep.
So the gap between 2013 and 2018, I worked for the American government
Yep.
in Afghanistan, Baghdad, Libya, Syria.
Wow.
We moved mad guns, people from the State Department, if you know what I mean. We moved them
Yeah.
around. We
Holy
got paid a
shit.
lot of money to sort of move things around and keep people in a relative, like, we're going to call it safety, but
Yep.
ultimately it's cheaper to have a bunch of English contractors or British guys run guns and money than it
Oh,
is to pay in military.
Oh,
that's
Jesus.
a yeah. That sounds like a cool job, but I can also imagine the risk would be so fucking high with it.
Yeah, the risk is that you don't ever, you don't always know who you're working with. Unlike when
Whoa.
you're in the Marines, you know each other, you trust each other, you spend years together, you build a bond and a rapport. When you go contracting and you just contracting yourself out for hire, basically, a gun for hire, you don't
Yeah.
know who you're going to be with, and you don't ultimately know what's going to happen, so you can't control those variables. You just got to trust that they have your back. And I met some great guys working that circuit, but I met some other guys that I probably would never talk to again.
Yeah, right. I can imagine
Wow.
it'd be very high stress and very like you're alert the whole time.
Yeah, you're alert a lot of the time, yeah, and shit happens, man. You know.
Yeah, fuck. So
And is
let's
that a
not.
job you just fell into, bro? Like after the military, or just an opportunity jumped up and you jumped into it?
Yeah. So when I left, my friend Paul Smith, he just asked me if I wanted to come on this contract with him and do this job for him.
Yep.
It was again like who you know and who you trust. You know, it's a big
Mm.
part of that job, and
Yep.
sort of fell into that job then. Yeah, I did that till 2018.
And
Damn.
then, and what brought about the transition into coaching then?
Well, it's any natural thing, you know. You just think, oh, I'll just become a PT, and then you know what happens. You go to a commercial gym, you start training Fat Janice. You train Fat Janice like she wants to join the Royal Marines.
Yeah.
She's fucking blowing out of her arsehole, and you're making her do burpees, and you're kicking her when she's on the floor, and you realise, yeah, that's not going to work for me. So I'm going to have to get education. So I had to go and work that one out, and that's when I went and did a bit of education and
Yep.
became more, I guess, understanding of what general population need and
Yep.
want,
Yep.
And
and to
what
get the best of them.
what education path did you go down?
I started at a place in Manchester, England called Frontline Performance with James Largy.
Mm-hmm.
Did a lot of Poliquin stuff.
Yep.
We did that for a long time. Did a lot of seminars,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
like Mountain Dog,
Oh,
John
nice.
Peters stuff,
Yeah,
you
fucking
did
Mountain
the
Dog.
Chow stuff. I did the BPAC stuff online.
Yep.
Then I did the Joe Bennett stuff, and then kind of started doing the physique transformation stuff with gen population males.
Yep.
Um, that was working for a while, and it just didn't really like fulfill me, to be honest. So
Mm.
I started looking into prescript, and that's where I started doing the prescript learning, and I did hypertrophy, and then I did the barbell course,
Mm.
and I did a level 4 strength conditioning sort of basic diploma in Britain over here with Brendan Chaplin, and
Mm-hmm.
moved more into making more like robust, average men more robust and a bit more angry, like
Mm.
fucking normal men. Like men are just sat on the sofas watching TV all day, You know what I mean? They're not doing nothing. They don't like their wives. They're not even wanking off for porn. They're not doing, they're not doing nothing, mate. They need to wake up. So that's my kind of niche now, is these kind of middle-aged 30, 40-year-old males. I'm trying to wake them up a bit.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, right.
And just build them, make them a little bit more resilient and harder, eh?
Yeah, a little bit more tolerant, a bit resilient. Yeah, we live in an
Yep.
ever-changing society now, and I think like if you're walking down the street with your wife or your kids, and you can't just think in your head, you know what, if that happens right now, I'm gonna fucking go through you, mate, or
Yeah.
you're gonna you're in trouble. So
Yeah,
It's-
that's
absolutely.
my niche now, really.
That's
I
love
awesome.
that. And you're
And
doing most of that coaching out of a gym somewhere, or you're online these days, or how you doing your role?
it's all one-to-one in a
Yep.
gym in Leeds, one
Yep.
rep max gym in Leeds, owned by a bodybuilder and a powerlifter called Ricky Moore.
Yep.
Yep.
It's a spit and sawdust, quiet gym, to be honest.
Yep.
There's
Yep.
no fancy
Love
in
that.
there.
That's
There's
the
nothing
best.
fancy in the gym.
Bro, non-fancy gyms were exactly what we need.
Yeah, just we've got a
absolutely.
load of dumbbells. We've got 2 racks that are not even screwed to the floor, so they move around. We've got a load of barbells. Got a seal row. Got a parallel track. Got a cable station. I just
That's what
crack
you
on.
need.
But yeah, what I do is if you want to get coached, I give you a 65 kilo sandbag, and if you can't run it a mile in under 18 minutes, you can't come on.
Oh, I love that.
It's the rules.
Yeah, wow. So, that like
I bet that
65
fucks
kilo.
a few people up.
Yeah, so you got to leave the gym. You got to run to the KFC, which is in like the sort of Hare Hills. It's the part further up the town. You got 18 minutes to do it. You should be able to do that as a fully grown man.
Yeah. 'Cause, 1 mile. Is it just 1 mile?
Yeah, it's just 1 mile to the KFC, and then
So
I might
1
get them a
mile
chicken.
for those listening, like 1.6K. The
65
65 kilo
kilos.
sandbag. Like,
Yeah.
that's pretty decent, but very doable in 18 minutes.
Yeah, it's very doable. Just stick on your back and keep going. Like, let's see where you're at.
And
Yeah,
and
right.
man, I love the idea of that. So someone contacts you and they're like, Jerome, I'm keen for some coaching. And you go, well, meet me at the gym at X time, and then you got a 65 kilo sandbag waiting for them. Do many of the guys turn around and go, fuck, what is happening? Or do they
Yeah.
all kind of know about it?
Some of them know about it. Some of them are surprised by it. They're like, "What? What?" Like, if you're asking what, mate, then I'm not the guy for you, am I? There's another
Yep.
guy in there. He'll give you a cuddle. He'll slap your back a bit. You know, he'll tell you your race. He'll
Yep.
do. He'll send you links to like nutrition podcasts. But I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
You know. Let's see.
And
love
many
it.
people, once they get through that 1 mile, then they're like, okay, you pass, take on. Do they stick with you, or do you find that they go, yeah,
No, I've had my clients. I got really good retention with my clients. You know, I'm
yeah,
looking for clients for 52. 104 weeks. I'm not looking for 6-week shreds, 8-week blasts. I don't do that shit. I tell them all the time, Phil, like, and people don't really like what I say, but I don't believe in that 6-week shed. That fucking Stephen Bartlett chatting his shit on fucking podcast, mate. That guy can get fucked. I'm not into all that stuff, you know.
yeah.
David Goggins and all that crap. Don't come at me.
I love
Do you
that.
feel because you've had such a broader experience, especially in the commandos, and then working as a contractor, you can look at all that stuff and like, yeah, it probably does work. You know, you're talking about your Steve Bartlett, your David Goggins, and do you find that like they just appeal to a very Gen Pop, you know, lack of a better term, one that you used was sitting on the couch, that bloke.
Yeah, because they're smart, aren't they? They're appealing to those people, and they listen to their motivational podcast, but they're not doing anything, are they?
Yeah,
They're just thinking they are, they're saying they're not doing,
Yep.
Have you ever had any lads miss the 18-minute mark and then come back and say, Jerome, I'm going to fucking get this, and then they land back in a month and then they get it?
Yeah, I've had 2 do that, 2 do that.
That's pretty sick.
Geez, that's got to be a client you enjoy training then, someone who's got that mindset.
Yeah, I love those guys. They're the best, and I love the guys that, it means a lot to them, it's a luxury to have a trainer, it's not a necessity, is it? And the guys that are crafting all day and, to spend £200 a month on a trainer is a lot of money. So they're invested, the people that have got a lot of money, they don't care. They'll just chuck the money at it and they won't turn up. They're not invested. I want the ones that, they're scraping by, they're struggling, but they've got the money, they've got the graph, they'll get the results. They'll grow.
Bloody oath they will.
Geez, that's going to be incredibly rewarding as a coach, doing that stuff. And I bet you enjoy doing that. No more looking after Janice, Gen Pop commercial gym lady. You actually get to yell and kick these guys.
Yeah, that's the thing, And I've got some great women as well. Like I've got 2 women, and they're the most consistent, to be honest. The 2 women. Dev's she's moved on now, but the female I train now, she's really consistent. She's hardcore. So
they have to pass the same test.
45.
Yeah, right. 45 kilo sandbag. That's mad. Where did that come from?
Just in my head. Just decided,
Yeah, that's pretty funny. That's fucking cool, though.
It's just some grizzy fizz that, why not?
Yeah. And do you have you had many clients that come on now, and obviously you're powerlifting yourself, and they step on the platform?
So I've got one chap that I'm training. He's gonna compete in 2 weeks.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but that's because he came to me from another powerlifter, and he was just like backslapping him all the time and treating him, because he was just taking his money. And I took Steve on, and pretty straight with each other. We're straight with each other, so he knows where he stands,
Yeah.
And he's like, I told him, I was like, you got to lose some tin, man. So he's lost 28 kilo now. He's lost. So he'll compete at 105. So he's lost 28 kilos, and I think regardless of how well he does, I think that's the biggest change in his mindset.
You don't have to be a fucking fat, overweight lifter. You can actually be quite lean and athletic, still be very strong.
Yeah, he needed to lose that weight. He was drinking a lot and just doing things that are not
not
connected
conducive.
to who. Conducive. We're not connecting him to who it is and what it is that he needs. I do find a lot of that because I'm 6 years sober now. So, and when I say sober, I mean I don't drink alcohol, and I've never done recreational drugs, but I just don't drink alcohol. I wouldn't say I'm sober. I just say I choose not to. But I find that some of my clients I bring on, they're weekend boozers. They're on, you call it grog, don't you? They're on the beer on the weekend, and I kind of draw that out of them and make them come to a realization that they're wasting money, they're wasting their relationships, they're wasting their time. We don't get this time back. This is the one-time show. Fucking turn up. Don't waste your fucking time.
Jeez, I like that.
And then they move away from that side of things, and then the running joke is that I make my clients sober, but it's not that I say to them not to drink alcohol. I just say, just fucking have a word with yourself. It's not big.
Yep.
I don't think anyways.
It's funny though, are they shocked by how they feel in, say, a month when they stop drinking alcohol?
Yeah, man.
It's so
insane.
Crazy. Yeah. We really take for granted how much it affects us, especially if, as you said, the weekend boozers. Your body's constantly trying to filter that shit out, and then by Thursday, Friday, you kind of feel good, and you're doing it all again.
Yeah,
the mental fog that comes with it is fucked.
Yeah, you get great clarity once you're away from it.
Oh, it's
in many respects.
Yeah, and I understand people, the social aspect and all that, but you got to really weigh it up and against, as you said, what you want long term in terms of your goals and all that. It's just not. It's not viable.
No, especially when you're in your 30s, 40s, and even 50s. It's just something's impressive.
Yeah, that's another reporting part. People are coming to you just to maybe they think to get stronger, but then all of a sudden they start learning all these other amazing things happen in their life because they start making better decisions because training becomes important to them, right?
Oh, mate, One of the first things I'll say to them is like, the gym is just a bunch of metal and a plastic in a room, essentially. But it is what you do with it and how you apply that to your life. It will change your fucking life. But until you get to that point in the road and you turn right and stop turning left all the time, you won't fucking know. So just turn up. Consistency wins. Just turn up. Apply yourself. You know. I took on a guy. I've had him for 9 months now. He came out of a 1% motorcycle club.
Yep.
Club.
Yep.
Back here in England, and he was like 74 kilos, drinking drugs, the lot.
Yep.
He was addicted to painkillers, actually. And we're now 9 months in. 9 months in, he hasn't drank, he has stopped taking the pills. He's 86 kilos and deadlifted 200 kilos.
Oh, sick.
And he's like, I just could never imagine this being my life. I'm like, I've erased all. And another thing I'm very big on is taking people out of your life that add no value to it.
I like that.
You do not need them. You need 5 people in your life that you really care about. You don't need 55. You don't need the people down the pub that think, oh, I'm gonna have fun time Frankie down here. You know, he's great. He's gonna buy me some beers and get me a bag of sniff. You know, those fuckers you don't want them in your life. The bad people. Just erase them.
Yeah.
Like,
Even
be more
that's
strategic with your life.
even that is just like such a critical tool in elevating a person from where they are to where they want to go. Like
Yeah.
me, you just do that, and you immediately the onflow and the onflow effect of that is just the ripple effect. Sorry, of that is just huge.
It's huge, yeah.
And especially when they remove those, but they come into someone like yourself who is such a straight shooter, who's going to tell them, or you fucked up, or you're being a wanker. Like, get back on the horse. People need a person like that in their life. We're surrounded by too many yes people who will just feed them, and it's fucking so obvious in this day and age with social media. They'll put up something and then immediately just get fucking thrown in like looking like a god, or yes, you're the greatest, whatever like that. Someone needs to tell them, bring them back down to earth. Oi, you're being a wanker.
Yeah, like, it's the 3 rules in life. Number 1 is, for me, is everybody wants to be a gangster until you have to do gangster shit. So, you know,
I like that.
everybody wants to be a bad motherfucker. You know what? When shit kicks off, they're running the fastest. You know,
Yeah.
they're not in the gunfight. They're not with me and the boys laid down with the boys. They've fucking gone now. So, don't bullshit me. Number 2 is, look cool. Don't get lost. And if you get lost, look cool. Which basically means, start acting the part. Start becoming the person that you want to be. Whatever that image looks like. Take people in all respects, I don't give a fuck what you want to dress like and how you want to be. Be the cool person that you want to be. And in the middle somewhere, when you do get lost and you do realize that, fuck me, I'm changing, and I'm feeling a bit lost. Still look fucking cool, mate. Be yourself. Just stand up and be yourself. And number 3 is don't be a dickhead. Just don't be a dickhead.
Yeah.
Like, they're 3 good rules to follow, I think.
100%. That third rule is, I don't know if
It's a great rule.
It is.
I think
The
that
third
could
rule,
apply that to a lot of people.
man. Like I don't know if you follow rugby over there or whatever, but like I know the All Blacks implemented a fucking no dickhead policy.
Oh, did they? That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So they when they were in this big transition phase, like they were winning everything, and then they kind of fell off the bandwagon. They implemented very similar rules, and one of them was, similar to yours, but it was like pay tribute to the jersey, respect where it's come from, leave the sheds, clean your own sheds. So or you'll see, at the end of a big fucking World Cup campaign, the players get out brooms and clean their own sheds. And then the other one was no dickhead policy. So you could be the greatest player on the planet, but you won't get picked if you're a dickhead because it doesn't add to the culture.
Yeah, I agree with all those.
100%. And there was a lot more to them, granted, but it's one of the. I read that book and it just was incredible. And the no dickhead policy has stuck with me for so
Yeah.
long.
Yeah.
How did you come up with
But
your
people
3 rules,
think,
Jerome?
I don't know. I just have this thing where, I feel, I sit down and my brain starts going and I start thinking about things, And years ago, I had a really old, really strict sergeant major called Jim Morris, and I still talk to Jim now, and that guy is fucking terrifying. I was fucking terrified of that bloke. But the way that he used to speak to us and the things he used to say, at the time you don't realize that they're going in, they're going deep inside you, and you're capturing that moment, but you don't fully understand the way that Jim's talking to you, when you're a teenager or you're in your 20s, your late 30s, And I just think a lot of influence from those older father-like figures in the Marines, a lot of that stuff has stayed with me till now, to be honest. I can be quite emotionless. If I love you, I'll fucking have your back to the death. Like, I'll be there tomorrow. But if it doesn't affect my life, in a way that I don't feel emotional towards it, I'll just cut it off.
100%. And I think that's so fair because if they're not invested in giving back to yourself, why should you be invested in them? People expect so much. Training's a fucking classic example. Coaching's a classic example. People expect the world because they pay you and say, "Well, hold up, you pay me for a service." Number one,
Yeah.
if you're a
Yeah.
dickhead, that's all you're gonna get. If you want to be a good person and add to this community culture, whatever's around you, fuck yeah, I'll invest in you.
Yeah, that's exactly that's the bread and butter of it, really, isn't it? It's for me, it's personal training. It's personal. It has to be personal to that person, but they have to be invested in the process,
Exactly. Because you're only going to get out what you put in.
Yeah, man, totally. But that's like a timeless saying, but it's still relevant now.
And I think as you said before, like a lot of the things you hear when you're a teenager just go in one ear and out the other. Because, like, speaking from myself, like, fuck me, I thought I knew everything at that age. I thought I was like, I thought I was a fucking hardcore bloke. And then you get hit with the real world, and you're like, well, maybe I'm not. Maybe, and then all those things that you used to hear, and you look back and you start connecting the dots, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, shit makes sense.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. That's the way. That's the way that. Yeah.
How did you? I was just going to say. Now, how did you land yourself powerlifting? Like deciding to get competitive with it all.
Yeah. So it was basically like I was saying. By default, we moved to this town. The only gym that's near the house is Luke Richardson's gym. So before that I was doing a lot of CrossFit stuff. So I just was in this like strength. It's called the strength shed. So I was in the shed. It's basically a cow shed or a cattle shed with weights. I was in there, and Luke came in, and I was like, "Could you coach me, mate? Because I don't have a fucking clue. I don't know how to do any of these exercises." And he's like, "Yeah, I'll coach you." So he started coaching me in the July of 2022, and we did our first powerlifting competition in December. And so, like, I went from never squatting, bench, or deadlifting at all to squatting 265, benching 160, and deadlifting 270. So, like, I did all without ever doing it. I'd never done it.
Yeah. That's pretty fucking sick.
So, like, but I just liked it because but I think in the beginning, when you start doing it and you've never done it, you can take these huge leaps, can't you? Because you've just got this beginner's ability to take these giant jumps into things,
Yeah.
And then in the December of 2023, my bicep tendon ripped off. So I tore my distal bicep tendon on my right arm 2 days before Christmas. And I think that was just from doing too much. And Luke's like a really good friend of mine now. We're really tight, but his style of programming is all in, 100% all the time, max out. And I think he forgot that I was like a 42-year-old man, and he's only 25. So he programmed me like he won IPF. He was the IPF world champion, teenager, wasn't he? So he was programming me like a teenager, and I
Yeah.
fell apart.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I had to have that time, but my bicep ripping off for me in my like fitness career was the
Yep.
best and worst thing that happened to me in one
Oh,
go,
wow.
because made me step back and realize like I'm doing too much, I'm too obsessed here,
Mm.
you know. I need to get some more education. I need to fix my knees. I need to fix my ankles. I need to fix things that I'm really weak at, because I was hiding it all the time.
Mm.
So what I realized on the internet, there's really limited amount of information on how to sort of rehab a distal tendon injury once it's sewn
Yep.
it back on. There's not really much on there. It's like pretty old on YouTube, so you kind of just have to go through it. So I did like the West Side Barbell stuff. I looked at some of that stuff because I'm still now, I'll be honest, I still don't really understand powerlifting. I don't understand like the names and the other day Stu was talking about ME and D and conjugate. I was like, I thought conjugate was like a type of toothpaste, mate. Colgate.
Yeah. That's so
Did Stu have a laugh at that, bro?
He was laughing. He was like, fucking hell.
that is hilarious.
So
That
like,
is
yeah, the tendon fell off, and then I spent the 3 months, getting better. But then in the elite pool, I deadlifted like 200 for 10, so I was getting back. I went to Brits because I qualified for Brits in the December, so I competed at Brits. I came second at Britain's with like a 275 squat. I got my bench to 165 in that time from sort of the tendon ripping off. So from March till June, didn't really have that long to bench again. My deadlift was really suffering now, so I can only deadlift 250 because I had to change from this
everything.
side.
Yeah.
I had to change everything, and I couldn't do it anymore.
Mm.
Um, and then I started doing the prescript education stuff. So I did the barbell course, and Stu Locke taught it.
Yep.
Mm.
That I was like, well, if you're going to go learn, I might as well go to the guy who's teaching it. You know what I mean? In my
Yeah,
Yeah.
eyes.
100%.
So I messaged him and I was like, look, mate, I'm an old dosser. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm sure you don't want to train me. Or you're like, I don't think I'm in the realms of somebody you seem to train more elite people, but would you give it a go? And he's like, fuck me, I'll give it a go. So I jumped on with Stu, and I've learned a lot from
Mm.
Stu. Like, we had to change everything and start from the bottom up. And, then I went to Worlds, and that's where I met Kev and John. So,
Yeah. And
which
then
was cool.
Stu's such a wealth of knowledge. Like I've done a few of the pre-strip courses myself with Stu and Shallow, and
Yeah,
changing your hand grip, like going back to that, it just highlights one thing they say constantly. It's like you become the shape of your sport, and you can
yeah,
just see when you had to change your hands, everything was so built in your body to cater for just a simple grip change. Yet
yeah.
the on-flow
So,
effect of that shot back your deadlift like 25 kilos.
yeah, it screwed it. And then so Stu made me do hook grip. So I had to learn how
Yep.
to hook grip deadlift. And that's been great. Like, to be honest, I'm
Mm.
getting better every sort of week I do it.
How's the
But
thumbs?
Welcome to the grip of the
yeah,
gods.
yeah. Do you know what? My fingers are all right because
Yeah, right.
I think I carried a machine gun for so long. It's just like
Yeah,
same,
yeah.
same stupid day.
Yeah, right. You just fucking hook in and just go for it. My thumbs fucking nearly dislocate. Fuck.
Mate,
Yeah,
Jerome, when I teach anyone hook grip, because I'm a fellow hook gripper, I have a saying for them, and I tell them pain is a choice. You get to choose to let go of the barbell or choose to continue to hold on to it. It's up to you.
yeah. I like it.
It's
And then I tell them I've got an 80-year-old lady who used to do it, who used to deadlift her age with hook grip in the gym. So if they're feeling a bit soft, they can lean back on the fact that an 80-year-old's harder than them.
So sick, so sick.
she was
When
badass too.
I did my deadlift at Worlds, and
Yeah.
my fucking hands were hanging, and the bar was spinning because I hadn't had it locked in. I was like, I'm not letting this fucking flat go. Kept pulling it all the way up. I could feel it spinning.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was fun.
Fuck. You're in a when it starts spinning in your hands, it's like fucking this is on the edge here.
Yeah, it was on the edge all the way up.
And
Fuck.
powerlifting is you now, bro. You're all in, bashing away again, prepping for more comps, worlds again. You going to
Yeah,
Chicago next year or
I'm
this
all
year?
in. I'm all in. I'm all in. I'm going to compete on the 23rd of March, so qualify for Brits because I didn't win it, so I have to qualify again.
Yep.
Um, then yeah, take it from there. Yeah, yeah. What I love about powerlifting is I wouldn't say I was a powerlifter. I'm just a guy that likes to do exercises that I enjoy,
Mm,
and I like it because it's very regimented. It's a bit like being in the military. It's like you got to do
mm,
this on this day, and there's options of how much you can lift and the percentages, and you work out yourself because the RPEs. But you do this on Monday, you do this on Tuesday, you do this on Wednesday, and then everything I do on rest day, I do to try and make myself better on the Wednesday. So if I have to drink more water, if I have to eat more carbohydrates, if I have to sleep an extra half an hour, I will do everything just to try and be a little bit better.
yeah.
Because ultimately, if I can do it, it gives me like fulfillment. It keeps me on the straight and narrow, to be honest.
Yeah. That's the good thing about powerlifting because it is so regimented. It is so follow this, do this, that when it does, if you can apply that and just follow that, create that consistency in the program, everything like that, just makes life easier because you structure everything else around it.
Yeah, because, you know, there was a whole time in my life where I was very lost, when I
Mm,
left the Marines, and I was contracting, but I was lost. Like I didn't have almost a purpose, not to be like down on anything, but like I could have just kept drinking and just not woken up the next day. I would have been okay with that. I
yeah.
would have been okay with it, right? But now I
Mm,
have this like purpose. Like I have a great relationship. I have a good home, I have
mm,
strong bonds, and I've managed and having powerlifted into that as well is really sort of cemented that life for me.
yep.
I can't see me
And I
not doing it.
No, and I think powerlifting, like, it gets a bad rap because you mentioned you can become too obsessed with it, you can become too regimented with it, but it's also a gateway to creating good things like good relationships. Like,
Yeah,
I'm married now. I'm fucking got a healthy business. I've got friends around me that I could definitely call on at any time of the day. And
yeah,
like yourself, I've got a chocolate Labrador, and fucking that thing
yeah,
is like the best thing that's ever happened to me. So,
yeah.
and
And
I
like
and I
I'm
just.
quite like, it's not the be all and end all. It's just
Mm,
like enjoy it. Go there, enjoy it. You know, do your best. I don't feel any
100%.
pressure. I do not
Yeah.
feel pressure on it.
No. And I think that's the thing. It's just like enjoy the day, enjoy the experience, enjoy the process of it all because like if you get married to powerlifting, and we've all fallen in the trap, I can put my hand up and say like, yeah, I've been obsessed with numbers to the point where it just consumes me. But
Yeah,
if you can just go through the process and start to enjoy that process and enjoy the consistency, it just makes your life that much nicer.
yeah. I think because I'm still quite new to it all, but I don't think I'll ever be attached to numbers or people will say to you like, what you going to total? And I'm like, even if I could tell you what I could total, it's not even that great. So like, who
Yeah.
really cares?
And
Really?
that's, bro, at the end of the day, the only person that's going to remember your numbers is you.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's like, I don't, like, I, like, I probably remember some of my clients' numbers, but if you ask me what, X person's fucking max squat is, I'll probably have to really think about it and then go look it up because it's,
Yeah, yeah, of course.
there's other things in your life, or there should be other things in your life, I would say,
Yeah,
that
there should
also
be.
take your focus away from it, that give you energy to take back into your training and um so yeah, man, I'm fully on
Yeah,
that bandwagon. I'm fully believing it.
yeah. Fulfillment, in many forms just comes in different guises, doesn't it?
100%. And I think when we stop looking for fulfillment in a hobby, oh, there we go. When we stop looking for fulfillment in the hobby that we choose, because at the end of the day, this is a hobby. Like no
Yeah, it's a
one's
hobby.
really getting, no one's really getting paid for it. Even at the top level, like you may get some, but you're not getting much. The only people making money from it are coaches. And look, if I wanted to make millions of dollars, I probably would have chosen a different profession.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
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 So I think if we all took a less, you still be serious about it. You just don't have to, as you said, you don't have to be a wanker.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's what makes a great coach, though. I think that what makes a great, attraction to having a good coach is, having the ability to reply to your clients and filter into their life as well, in and out. And,
Mm.
they want your service because they need you to progress them, but they also want you to be part of their journey,
Yeah, 100%.
and,
And
and
I think one of the best things for any coach ever, one thing I implemented last year was just a very basic feedback form. Like, and I'm not technologically savage. I created a form on Google and send it out every Friday, and I ask them, how's their training performance and all that stuff. But then I also want to ask them random questions about, who's someone you're grateful for, what's happening in your life, what are 3 things you're grateful for outside of
yeah,
training, and that
yeah,
just the feedback from that has been incredible because it shows one that as a coach you care, but it also gets the client thinking about shit other than training.
yeah, of
That there's
course,
more
yeah,
to training, and it's
Barbells
been
aren't
it's been
everything.
a really exactly. Yeah.
Whoa.
Who would have
yeah.
thought?
Like, what physical boundaries have you successfully climbed this week? And it doesn't need to be in the gym, It could be many things,
100%.
and that's where you
100%,
get
man.
that real connection with people. That's where the
Puts the
job is more valuable.
Yeah, I think you
Yes.
nailed it earlier, particularly with what you do with one-on-one style stuff, but putting the personal in personal coaching, which I think a lot of PTs or personal coaches kind of forget they have that responsibility as a part of their service.
Yeah, because especially in UK, I don't know about Australia, especially UK now, it's very marketing and business driven. It's
No, that's over here too.
I'm looking for 5 people to drastically lose 10 pounds of fat in 4 days. I'm like, shut the F up.
It's very much like that over here, bro.
They're just trying to get money.
Yeah, and like I get it that we run a business, but there's still better ways to run a business, and that comes from everything we've spoken about today. Just being upfront with someone,
Yeah,
being able to tell them what they need to hear. And look, they may not like it, but fuck me, I'll tell someone what they need to hear. They may not like it, not decide not to come on board. Guarantee they'll probably come back in 2 years and go, "Fuck, you were right."
yeah. Not enough people are doing that though.
No.
Not enough trainers and online coaches are doing that though, because they're scared to lose X amount of income per month.
It all comes back around, and I think once you take a look at money in a different way, like money, you'll always get more money. You'll always make more money. Money will come in, money will come out.
Yeah.
It just goes in a cycle. Like you'll always make more money. So
It's just an
why?
imaginary number in the
Yeah,
sky.
yeah, literally. Like,
So I'm gonna start doing that lot. We'll be here all
right, it's
day.
just. Oh yeah, well that's a good point. We better not go down that route because we will be here for a while. And honestly, we could talk about that for a long time.
We've got 10 questions if you want them, Brando.
Bro, well, before we finish up, Jerome, obviously we want you to go and enjoy your Sunday night. We have 10 very random questions
I like it.
that we want to get a bit more of an insight into who Jerome is behind the big jacked up muscle man tats with his mini dash hounds. So
I'm from Jackson.
definitely jacked. But Johnny's going to fire. They're rapid fire questions. First thing that come to mind, Johnny, when you are ready, shoot it.
Jerome, favourite takeaway food?
Pizza.
Oh, fucking goat.
Quadrille
Favourite way to celebrate?
Sorry?
Doggy style.
What city were you born in?
Dumfries in Scotland.
Your dream car, if you have one?
Oh, a Ford Bronco, probably an old school one. Off the movies.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
An
What's your
orange Ford
nickname?
Bronco.
Nickname?
I have 2. One, it used to be Green Death, but now it's just Jezza.
Jezza.
Say Green Death.
Yeah.
That's mad.
Brutal. If you could ask future self, what would you ask yourself?
I would ask myself, why did you make the decision to not swap places with Paris Hilton in 2006?
Your favorite photo of all time?
It's me and my current fiance. When I was a kid, always wanted to go to the island of Capri in Italy. I used to see it on a magazine, and then when I got some money, I took her and took a picture there.
Wow,
That's
that's
the
cool.
best.
Your favorite word to say?
That's
Oh,
amazing.
look at you two. So cute.
That island's fucking insane too.
Amazing.
Favorite word to say?
Oh, it's probably say quite a lot, don't I? Probably steady. I stay steady quite a lot. I don't know why.
I like
But
that
my
one.
favorite word is actually crocodile.
Really?
Really?
Just sounds
Why?
good, doesn't it? Like crocodile. Just say it. Crocodile. It's such a great word.
Have you ever seen a crocodile?
No.
Right.
They're fucking big and scary.
Yeah, they're terrifying.
And now, last but not least, what would be your number one adventure for 2024?
I'm getting married in December, so probably that.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh, congrats, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, you getting married over there? Or travelling?
No, we're getting married in London.
Yeah, lovely.
Jesse's grandfather's older now, so he can't travel, so we're going to go get married where he
Yep.
lives.
That's beautiful.
Mate, that's awesome. Congratulations. I'm sure
Yeah.
we'll keep touch base. So, obviously say it again before then, but
Yeah,
it's an exciting time. We can tell you that.
Yeah, man.
Unreal.
Mate,
thanks for coming on, bro.
Thank you so much for giving up your time, especially on a Sunday night over there. Give yourself a shout out. Like, where can people find you if they want to get in touch, whether it be about coaching?
Just on the Instagram account is at the Muscle Mechanics. That's all I've got.
Perfect, mate. I'll throw it up in the show notes. But as I said, man, we can't thank you enough for coming on and sharing your experiences and your journey to where you are.
I'll just say it was such a nice event to meet Johnny down in the world. Like, such a great, like, fabulous person you are, and you're like
Thank you, sir.
fun, very calm. Like, I really liked your demeanor. And Kev is a class guy. What a guy!
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely. They are two of the best in
great
the industry.
I've met some great people through this sport, to be honest. If you like to call it sport, I don't know. Is it sport?
That's another rabbit hole we could go down for a long time.
Absolutely. Thanks very much, boys. Appreciate you coming on, Jerome.
Yeah.